Shedeur Sanders humiliates Pro Bowl veteran in elite QB showdown. One drill, one throw. That's all it took for Shedeur Sanders to shatter expectations and ignite the biggest quarterback conversation in years. After a single head-to-head rep, scouts are now calling Sanders the most electrifying QB prospect to emerge in the last 5 years. The Pro Bowl vet never saw it coming. Meanwhile, in Cleveland, the quarterback conundrum is reaching a boiling point. The Browns are juggling a volatile mix: veteran Joe Flacco, young journeyman Kenny Pickett, and two wild cards, rookies Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. So how does this quarterback saga unfold over the season? What's the strategy behind the scenes? And how will the reps be divvied up in a room led by men fighting for their NFL futures? If I were running the show in Cleveland, I'd do everything in my power to get either Shedeur Sanders or Dillon Gabriel under center this year. Flacco or Pickett, that's a last resort. An oh no, everything's gone off the rails kind of scenario. If head coach Kevin Stefanski and GM Andrew Berry are hedging their futures on the vets, they may as well start clearing out their offices now. Now let's talk about what really happened at that private quarterback showcase last week. Because this wasn't just about legacy or bloodlines. We've seen sons of legends stumble before. The pressure, the comparisons, the unrealistic expectations, most crumble. But what unfolded in Arizona defied every one of those cliches. Picture this. It's 105 degrees in the desert. The air at the elite QB training compound is electric with anticipation. Whispers spread that some serious talent is about to hit the field, but nobody knew how serious. Then the first SUV pulls up. Out steps a seasoned assassin. Let's call him QB1, a 3-time Pro Bowler with over 30,000 passing yards to his name. A playoff-tested warrior. A college legend. A technician of the game, with the admiration of every defensive coordinator in the league. Moments later, another car arrives. Out walks Shedeur Sanders, fresh off a season with over 3,200 yards and 27 touchdowns at Colorado. Impressive, sure, but in NFL terms, unproven. Raw. And now he's going toe-to-toe with a battle-hardened professional. The trainers set up the gauntlet, precision passing challenges meant to break even the most confident QBs. Targets the size of dinner plates at 40 yards. Sideline windows so tight they'd give seasoned cornerbacks nightmares. It's where frauds get exposed and true contenders are crowned. QB1 goes first. Smooth, calculated, machine-like. He hit 7 of 10. That's elite. Trainers nod approvingly. It's the kind of performance you expect from a guy who's done this on Sundays. Then, Shedeur steps up. Now, understand, this moment wasn't just about football. It was about identity, about silencing every whisper that he's just Prime's son. It was about proving that the work, the film study, the lifting, the early mornings wasn't for show. That when the lights are at their brightest, he belongs. First throw, absolute laser, dead center, 35 yards downfield. The velocity turned heads, the spin was flawless. The sound it made ripping through the Arizona heat was something else entirely. Second throw, off balance, rolling right, 28-yard out route to the sideline. Not just accurate, surgical, placed perfectly away from imaginary coverage, right into the hands of a ghost receiver, the kind of ball that can't be taught, only felt. Trainers exchanged glances. This wasn't supposed to happen. By throw 5, jaws were dropping. Shedeur wasn't just executing, he was commanding the moment. He made elite-level drills look routine. Even QB1, stoic and composed, couldn't help but glance sideways. The look said it all. This kid isn't just good, he's different. Then came the final test, the impossible window. A 45-yard dart through a gap barely 2 feet wide with simulated defenders closing from both sides. Only 3 QBs had ever hit it on their first attempt. The veteran tried 3 times, all just wide. Respectable misses from a pro who's made millions slinging the rock. Now it was Shedeur's moment. The heat was real, the cameras were rolling, trainers held their breath. My silence was thick, one shot to redefine everything. Shedeur Sanders silences doubters with historic throw. NFL scouts left speechless. 3 steps back, eyes up, the field becomes a chessboard, and something unmistakable shifts in Shedeur Sanders' demeanor. This isn't just Coach Prime's son anymore. This isn't a kid chasing his father's shadow. This is a poised field general ready to etch his own legacy in the annals of quarterback greatness. The snap fires. The pressure comes instantly. But Shedeur doesn't flinch. He lingers in the collapsing pocket longer than most seasoned pros would even dare. Then, with defenders bearing down, he steps up and launches a spiral so pristine it seems sculpted by the football gods. The ball arcs 45 yards through the searing Arizona sky, threading the infamous impossible window, and lands gently in the receiver's hands as if hand-delivered by divine precision. The training facility erupts. Trainers, players, even the veteran Pro Bowl quarterback. Everyone is in awe. But Shedeur, he simply nods, as if to say, what else did you expect? That right there, that's the quiet fire of the Sanders DNA. But here's where things go nuclear. Unbeknownst to most, someone had filmed the entire session, and by midweek, that footage was circulating through NFL war rooms, scouts, coordinators, general managers, all asking the same urgent question: who is this kid? And how on earth did we overlook him? Enter Dan Orlovsky. If you don't know Dan, you're missing out. A 12-year NFL vet turned film study mastermind for ESPN. Orlovsky isn't one for fluff or theatrics. He breaks down quarterback tape with surgical precision. Coaches listen when he speaks. And Thursday morning, the Arizona footage lands on his desk. Frame by frame, he analyzes it. Flawless, arm angle, elite, decision-making under duress, clinical, processing speed, lightning fast. Every trait you'd want in an NFL franchise quarterback is on display. And not just the measurable traits, but the intangibles, the elite presence, the command, the sheer poise. Fast forward to Friday, ESPN's Get Up goes live. Host Mike Greenberg tees up the footage and throws Orlovsky a curveball. Tell us what you're seeing here. What follows is TV gold. Dan starts breaking it down detail by detail. The way Shedeur manipulates safeties with his eyes, the split-second reads, the velocity, the anticipation, the pinpoint precision, and then he drops the bomb. I'm going to say something that might get me in trouble. But I don't care. What I just watched is the most impressive quarterback workout I've seen in 5 years, period. That includes guys who went top 5 in the draft. The studio goes silent, Greenberg's jaw drops, Twitter melts, and Dan's not done. People are going to say I'm overreacting, but I'm seeing Brady-level pocket poise, Mahomes-like arm talent, a football IQ reminiscent of Peyton Manning. This kid isn't just legit, he might be generational. Within hours, the internet is ablaze, the clip trends across every social platform, draft boards are getting rewritten in real time. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a college quarterback with a famous father anymore. He's the name everyone is watching heading into the 2026 NFL draft. And how does Shedeur respond to the firestorm? With one simple Instagram post. Just getting started. See you in the fall. No flexing, no hype, just a composed acknowledgement from a young man who knows his moment is coming and he's ready to seize it. Now, take a step back and imagine what this means for Colorado football. He might not be QB1 yet, but he's behaving like a man who knows his moment is on the horizon. Just not today. Has he been underestimated, or are the doubts justified? Let us know what you would do if you were in Kevin Stefanski's shoes. And if you want more exclusive behind-the-scenes content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. There's always that one pivotal moment, subtle, silent, that transforms the entire atmosphere of a fan base. It's not always a blockbuster trade or a fiery press conference meltdown. Sometimes it's a single digital action. While fans roar over highlight reel plays on Sundays, it's often in the shadows of the locker room where the real narrative begins, especially when the presumed cornerstone of a franchise suddenly steps into the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. On an unassuming Thursday, defensive lineman Ogbo Okoronkwo made a move that seemed trivial. He double-tapped a post on Instagram. Yet in the realm of professional sports, even a simple like can carry the weight of a head. The post in question. It criticized Myles Garrett's absence from Browns OTAs, subtly questioning his commitment to leadership. Now, Ogbo and Garrett aren't strangers, they're teammates. And this wasn't some random fan's hot take. It echoed sentiments reportedly shared by several within the Browns' inner circle. A small gesture, but in today's social media world, even the tiniest spark can ignite a wildfire, especially when it comes to locker room intrigue. The post Ogbo engaged with pulled no punches, spotlighting Garrett's choice to skip OTAs for a trip to Japan with Olympic snowboarder Chloe Kim. The timing, more than anything. raised eyebrows, especially after his lucrative $160 million 0 cents extension, designed not just to cement his on-field dominance, but to solidify his role as a team leader. The caption leaned into that narrative, quoting ESPN's Nick Pace, who bluntly questioned whether Garrett was truly the defensive leader the Browns so desperately need. In a team craving stability, those kinds of questions can hit harder than a blindside sack. What makes this moment feel even more charged is that, allegedly, this isn't the first time Garrett has been, shall we say, fashionably late. Whispers of him skipping mandatory team activities or rolling into the facility on his own schedule have circulated before, never fully confirmed, rarely denied. So here's the question: does leadership demand constant presence and accountability, or is on-field performance enough? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear your take on this unfolding drama. And hey, if you love getting the raw, unfiltered truth about your team with no sugarcoating, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. So hit that like button now and join me as I unveil every detail. Just when Browns fans thought the offseason would settle, everything flipped on its head during OTA sessions. And it's no longer just about Deshaun Watson's lingering injuries. The quarterback landscape in Berea now looks more like a collegiate all-star showcase than a conventional NFL depth chart. At the heart of this storm sits Joe Flacco, 40 years old, all business, speaking like he's already claimed the throne. And you know what? He just might be right. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's a lot to unravel, and trust me, you'll want to hear every bit of it. This is no ordinary quarterback battle. The Browns now boast Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders, each with a completely distinct background, style, and narrative. The leadership knew it had to move swiftly after Watson's latest setback, so they didn't hedge their bets. They went all in, adding 2 proven veterans and drafting 2 promising rookies in a single offseason. It's either going to be a masterclass in roster construction or the kind of high-stakes gamble that defines or derails seasons. But if you ask Joe Flacco, he's got no doubts about the outcome. "I'm going to win this job," he declared to Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer. Just like that, 17 seasons in the league, a Super Bowl ring, and Flacco still speaks like a rookie with something to prove. But it's not empty bravado, it's conviction. And that conviction is resonating throughout the locker room. Flacco's message isn't just about confidence, it's laced with a keen self-awareness. He knows there's a new generation waiting in the wings, literally. One of those young quarterbacks is Shedeur Sanders, son of Deion Sanders, a man Flacco says he probably wasn't far from facing on the gridiron back in the day. That's the kind of context that sharpens the significance of this quarterback clash. Here's a quarterback who launched his NFL journey in the 2000s, now throwing passes to teammates who were barely in elementary school when he hoisted the Lombardi Trophy. And yet, Flacco isn't just going through the motions. He's studying film, competing in drills, and mentoring his young teammates. That's what makes this quarterback room so unique. It's not toxic, it's not tense, it's unexpectedly supportive, and that starts with Flacco's approach. "I want to be a really good teammate," he said. "I love being in that locker room. I'm not worried about teaching guys and having it come back to bite me." That's rare, that's powerful, and it might be exactly what Cleveland needs right now. Though Flacco currently sits atop the depth chart, the battle is far from over. Kenny Pickett, acquired via trade from the Eagles, still believes he's a starter in this league. Then there's Dylan Gabriel, the prolific Oregon product, and of course, Shedeur Sanders, one of the most polarizing and intriguing quarterback prospects in recent draft memory. These aren't just camp bodies, they're legitimate threats with real upside, and all of them are learning from a veteran who, despite the odds, still believes he has something left to give. It's a wild twist in a quarterback saga that has been nothing short of tumultuous in Cleveland, but the leadership isn't stopping with the offense. Veteran guard Joel Bitonio, who nearly retired after a grueling 2024 season, is back with a mission, and he's got a message every Browns fan needs to hear. "We've got to be tough up front," Bitonio declared. "We've got to turn 2- and 3-yard runs into 4- and 5-yard gains. Our defense has to be ferocious. It's all about toughness. It starts at training camp." This isn't just veteran talk, it's a cultural transformation. The Browns are done hoping the stars align. They're doubling down on identity, on grit, on physicality, on being the kind of team that doesn't blink when adversity strikes, because, as Bitonio put it, the difference between making the playoffs and missing them is often about how you respond when adversity strikes. "You're going to lose some games," he said. "How do you bounce back? How do you avoid letting one loss snowball into 2? That same mentality is permeating every facet of this team, especially the defense. Greg Newsome now stepping into a more prominent leadership role in the wake of Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah's devastating neck injury, isn't pulling any punches. "We all have a lot to prove this season," Newsome declared. "Don't get complacent. This is a league that will humble you. Fast." And he's right. That 2023 Browns playoff team, that group is history. This version is different, hungrier, sharper, and they're not interested in replaying past achievement. They're forging something new, something tougher, something sustainable. So the big question for Browns fans is this: is this all just talk or the spark of something truly transformative? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And here's where things get even more compelling. While the offense undergoes its own metamorphosis and the quarterback room dominates the headlines, it's the defense that may ultimately determine whether this Browns team mounts a legitimate challenge in 2025. Greg Newsome isn't just speaking boldly, he's leading by example. And with the loss of Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, the pressure on this unit has reached a level it hasn't felt in years. Newsome's words carry weight because they're forged in experience. He's witnessed the highs, like that dominant 2023 defense that made Sundays a nightmare for opposing offenses, and the lows, the fatigue of carrying too much of the load when the offense failed to sustain drives. That regression wasn't merely about missed tackles or blown coverages. It was about momentum, about rhythm, about constantly being forced back onto the field before you'd even caught your breath. But this year, no one's using that as a scapegoat. Jim Schwartz, the mastermind behind that 2023 defensive resurgence, is still steering the ship, and he's not mincing words. The Browns must be elite, no excuses, no exceptions. That's why the team doubled down in the draft, selecting defensive tackle Mason Graham and linebacker Carson Schweiger. These aren't developmental prospects. They're instant impact reinforcements meant to reignite the fire and energy in a defense that knows what dominance feels like and craves it again. They're not just fielding a good quarterback. They've got a leader who just dismantled NFL-level talent in a private workout, a student of the game with a composed killer instinct, and they've got the attention of every single scout in America. But perhaps the most profound ripple in all this, the Sanders family legacy. Dion was electric, flashy, loud, a showman who always backed it up. But Shedeur, he's calculated, quietly relentless, every bit as dangerous, just in a different way. He's not trying to mimic his father's footsteps. He's aiming to blaze his own trail and surpass it. The 2025 college season hasn't even kicked off yet, but after what happened in the desert, the lens on Colorado has sharpened. The hype? Real. The expectations? Sky high. And now, the million-dollar question: can Shedeur take the brilliance we saw in Arizona and replicate it on Saturdays in hostile stadiums against elite defenses? Into the glare of a national spotlight? Because make no mistake, everything has changed. The microscope just zoomed in. The pressure just multiplied. The standard just skyrocketed. But based on what we've seen, Shedeur Sanders isn't just prepared for the moment. He is the moment. So what do you think? Are we witnessing the rise of the next NFL superstar? Or is this just another workout warrior getting hot at the right time? Sound off in the comments below. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button because this ride is just beginning.